Welcome back, folks. We are live. So this is the 16th video in our Torment Tides of Numenera gameplay. So last we left off, excuse me, you can see the background here has the picture. We found this area, and it is called the Buried Crossroads. And the Buried Crossroads is this kind of secret sanctuary that the changing god, our former inhabitant of our body, either created. I don't know if he created or if he took over this space or anything like that. I would assume that he created these devices or brought them in or whatever. And the mural, he probably either created or brought that in as well. I don't know if this has been here for multiple iterations of the changing god in the past, and he's made use of them. It's hard to know. But this is a secret place underneath Sagus Cliffs, a secret sanctuary. And in this sanctuary, we just got down here. We found a few things, but we have not interacted with anything here. We've taken a look around. We did pick up some loot that was over here, found the book that Felinda had asked us to return, and it appears that it is quite important for us, as it has the same tattoo that everyone seems to notice about us inscribed onto the title page, as it says. So we came down here, we inspected a little bit. We came down here because a mutant that lives in the underbelly named Mapper asked us to do him a favor to come and find this place because he could not find it. It was very deep underneath the city. And he has an obsession with finding new places to map them out. That's what he does, hence the name Mapper. And so we promised to do it, but quite frankly, I was more than happy to do it on my own anyway, as this is a very interesting place where we are probably going to learn quite a bit about ourselves and our past. He asked us to do this favor for him because he knows where another cast-off, Matkina, the albino assassin, where her hideout is, where she hides out. And we are looking to find her, both because we suspect she may be involved in a murder that occurred, a vicious murder that occurred in the underbelly. And also because our original goal is to find her because she may be able to help us find the artificer who can help us repair the resonance chamber that will presumably protect us. The whole reason for the resonance.
I've never seen anything like it.
Well, we're not in the city anymore, really. The resonance chamber ostensibly protects us from the sorrow. That's what we've been told or kind of learned. Is that really true? We don't know. But that is the changing god has constantly had this goal, because apparently the sorrow is the one being that can destroy the changing god. And so he's been working, if that is indeed the case, he's been working very hard to build this resonance chamber and have it operational. So we are looking for the artificer that Matkina may be able to guide us to, as this artificer may be able to help us. I suspect that story may have a few twists and turns along the way, though. When we came down here, we noticed that these machines started up as we entered. So it says here, you're fairly certain that it came to life just as you entered the chamber. So it sounds like our presence, even as a cast-off, which as far as I can tell, we are a cast-off. We're still not entirely sure if we are only a cast-off or if we are also still the changing god or some kind of strange hybrid. But our presence set off these, or it's also possible that the presence of anyone would set them off. We don't actually know, but certainly they are active now. They have these symbols on them. We took a look at these symbols. So there's these symbols here. They're in small spaces and larger spaces. It's on this one over here as well. I don't know how important this symbol is. There's some kind of interface here, and we haven't interacted with any of this. These machines all appear to be hooked up to this series of mirrors, and we don't know what any of these things do. And so we inspected the mural, we took a look around at the machines. Let's see, we didn't look at this one. Some of the glowing bands on this machine have gone dark. It seems to be dying. Okay, so we didn't examine that one before. Uh-oh. That's interesting. I wonder if it'll go back up if we try to use it.
In an instant.
Or if we have to do something about it. Okay, yeah, it goes... Oh, right. I think all of these stairs kind of do that when you approach them. That's just a game mechanic. Okay, great. So something... Before I start interacting with these objects, and who knows, it might be some kind of puzzle as well. I actually want to experiment, first of all, with this book. So, the Tome of Singing Thorns. So this is the book that Felinda, the book merchant in Circus Minor, accused us when we were the Changing God of stealing from her. And we don't know what the purpose was or why, when we were the Changing God, why he would have wanted to steal this book. But for whatever reason, and presumably we'll find out. So I want to check it out and make use of it before we go returning it to her. We don't even know how she acquired it in the first place, and it may have been illegitimate anyway. So, the first thing, we also got some other loot. We got some money, we got some weapons. But the key thing that we got, I think, was this tome. So the first thing I want to do is take a look at this book. So let's go ahead and do that. So to start, to recap, the pages of this ancient heavy book rustle as if waiting to be turned. Cast-off tattoo is inscribed onto the title page. Someone has attached a much newer tag to the binding which reads, exclusive property of Felinda and Staristi, booksellers. They're in Circus Minor. So here we go. Use item. Let's see what happens. You flip open the cover of the Tome of Singing Thorns. On the title page is a cast-off's tattoo divided into 5 curving triangular shapes the color of each tide, with a small inscription beneath. You try turning to the next page, but can't. It's as if the pages are a solid block of paper. You lay your hand on the title page's rough, somewhat metallic surface, and the sharp triangular shapes spring up around your fingers with a vibrating hum. The possibility of losing your fingers to this book was a danger Felinda somehow neglected to mention. Okay, I don't remember what each tide is. I know like red is like the passion one, and I think... Oh gosh, well, but regardless, before I touch any of them, because I don't remember what the tides mean, and I have read about them, I'm going to read the inscription. It is written in a firm, sharp hand that nearly carved the letters through the page. Symptoms: cyanosis, hemophilia, spontaneous bruising, jaundice, argyria. See her as she was. You do not deserve to forget what you lost. Okay, symptoms: cyanosis, hemophilia, spontaneous bruising, jaundice, and argyria. See her as she was. You do not deserve to forget what you've lost. Okay, so I think that this is a message to us. It sounds like someone had a bad, was in a bad position, a bad death perhaps, or just was in a bad condition. So we laid our hand on the page's rough, somewhat metallic surface, and the sharp triangular shapes spring up around your fingers with a vibrating hum. I wish that I could see where my tides are at. I think I think like the red thorn was like passion and taking action. I'm trying to remember what the other ones are. I think that silver was like justice or something like that. So let's go with my gut. We'll touch the silver thorn. You prod the silver thorn, producing a high, pure note. Okay, after a moment, the music fades abruptly. Okay, touch the red thorn. You carefully pluck the crimson thorn like a stringed instrument. A note rises from the vibrating razor edge. Okay. So we touch the blue one. You experimentally run your finger along the back of the blue thorn. The moment raises a cool, complex note from the curved surface. Okay, so each of these... This is gold. You caress the golden thorn. A warm note rises from within it, making your fingers tingle. Touch the indigo. You tap this dense thorn, coaxing a multitude of tiny chime-like sounds from the metal. As you listen, they coalesce into a single, firm note. Okay. So, read the inscription again. Cyanosis. Okay, wait. So, these might be related to colors, like hemophilia, like red, right? Cayenne, that's like blue. Spontaneous bruising. Jaundice is yellow, so gold. And I don't know, so the spontaneous bruising. So we could go blue, red, indigo for the bruising, gold, and then silver. I don't know what this word is, argyria. So I'm going to end with silver. So let's try that. So I'm going to write it down so I don't forget the order. But it just, you know, having the word cayenne, it's kind of a dead giveaway for the color. So I'm gonna say that kind of, and then the hemophilia is also the red. So the colors jumped out at me. So we're gonna go, what did we say? So blue, red, spontaneous bruising. We decided that would be purple, so indigo. Jaundice, it would be gold, because that's yellow. And then the only one remaining is silver. So wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There is only 5. So, so what do you say? Silver. Let's give it a go. See if I figured that one out. So blue, touch the blue. You run your finger along the back of the thorn. Continue. The note rises into the air. So now we're gonna go with red. You flick the crimson thorn. Okay, so now we're getting... You can hear the sound is different. Indigo. I think we're making progress. Gold. And then silver. Prod the silver thorn. The note rises into the air. The notes surrounding you scatter into silence, as if swept aside by an impatient hand. The book blurs open, flipping from page to page faster than you can read. But still you catch glimpses, neat tables of strange creatures and their tidal affinities, dwindling question marks on each page as the author understood more and more. And through it all, you feel the book reading you, touching parts of your mind, erasing uncertainties, and reopening portions that have long been closed. Ooh, cast off permanently gained 1 intellect pool. Maximum intellect pool is now 11. That is awesome. It's as good as leveling up. The book closes with a firm, satisfying thud. Okay, so it seems like this is the code. It is blue, red, indigo, gold, and silver, and that will open up the book. I wonder what happens if we open it up again. So let's go ahead and give it a go. So blue, red, indigo, gold, and silver. Okay. You finished the... Oh, we gain more XP. Okay, so you finish the song again. This time, the music doesn't fade. The book twists in your hands, and you begin and begins flipping from the end of the book backwards. You see, in inky shadows, a bed and the dying young woman upon it. Must be what the note referred to. She clutches the blankets to her throat, fists shaking. Silent tears wet the pillow beneath her cheeks. Her teeth are set against the pain. And the singing continues, cracked with the hope that it will bring her peace and let her sleep. Singing continues, cracked with the hope that it will bring her peace and let her sleep. Continue. The book slams shut, nearly taking your fingers with it. So the inscription had said, so these are her symptoms, and obviously, corresponding with those colors. And I'm wondering, I still think that, because it says, see her as she was, so there was the vision that it's alluding to here. So see her as she was. You do not deserve to forget what you lost. Obviously, we don't have any direct memory of this woman, or we haven't yet. As if we are indeed a cast-off, we are no longer the changing god. And whoever left this note, maybe it was ourselves, maybe it was someone else. We don't know. It could have been written by the changing god in this book to... He's not really a he changes between a multitude of forms. Or they change between a multitude of forms, the changing god. Hey. And so, it could have been a note to ourselves. It could have been a note from someone else as well. So we'll open it one more time, see if we get a different reaction. We'll do it until we get a repeater. So it is blue, red, indigo. Then it was gold. And silver. This time the book does not open at all. Only the song remains. Okay, we're going to put the book away. Interesting. I wonder if there will be any other uses for it. We'll see. It didn't add anything to the description after opening it, which is interesting. I also would like to... I want to use some of these items that we've been having. So this chromavolum, I'm not sure how you say that. We wear this as an eye patch, and it kind of gives us a different vision. So it could be useful in certain circumstances, but we haven't figured out how yet. But we have to put it around. You take the object out of your pack and hold it up like an attached cord. We wear it around our eye. You fit the loop around your head, and again the creature seals itself onto your eye. When it opens, the world is once again awash in strange colors. You take a moment to appreciate the sheer beauty of the spectacle around you before removing it once more. Wear it like an eye patch again. Fit the loop. Okay, so it's not doing anything spontaneously in here. This cube as well, we haven't been able to figure out anything about it yet. The whirling pain within the cube spins faster as you open your mouth to speak. So I remember it particularly likes when we ask, I want to know what you are. It likes when we ask this question. I misread it the very first time and I thought it didn't like it. But in fact, when it does this remains dark, that's the odd thing that it does. It's not when I ask it other stuff. So we haven't asked it this yet, but I assume it's just going to show us a random image. So let's see. Who is killing people in the underbelly? The spinning panes within the cube slow, then halt entirely, revealing a single image at the center of the cube. A bucket filled to the brim with dead grass and gems. So this is what it does typically when we talk to it and ask questions. It just shows us these random images, which I'm sure is very entertaining, but we're not getting very far. Whenever I ask, I want to know what you are, it said in the narrative that it seemed to like that question, and it always goes dark for about a minute. So I'm wondering if we will have an opportunity to either use it like we're using it now in a certain context, or if there will be like we interact with an object and there will be an opportunity to use it that way. Or maybe nothing will happen, who knows. So, I guess that's it. I'm going to, for objects that we can interact with and test out. So we can't, this Jally is just an oddity. These here, we can't use any of these. We are looking for the other part of this ring, Aerith. but we didn't find it here. So I think that's everything that we could try to use and see if we could get any special effects or anything down here. So let's just jump into it and see what happens when we interact with these guys. This one here seems to have a console attached to it, so I'm going to interact with it first. It's quick save.
All right.
All right. So this device looks like it was once part of some larger device or network of devices embedded in the rock beneath the city. Thick cables disappear into holes in the wall. The machine gives off a low hum just at the edge of your hearing. Okay, so try to figure out how the machine works. Touching the etched surface reveals a display interface, but it seems unresponsive to your gestures and commands. Display does show a vast network of other devices it must be connected to. If you're reading it correctly, there's a vast array of machines and engines operating somewhere underneath the city. This interface might control them. So we do know that, maybe it's related to those devices, the generators that are up above the surface, and I believe that it was either that there was another one under the city, so that might be very near here, or so we know that there's a vast network of devices. So maybe it's those generators, maybe those generators are part of it, maybe they're unrelated. I'm going to go with they're probably related to it. So we will try to use the interface. You poke it, swipe it, yell at it, speak gently to it, but the interface is completely unresponsive to your commands. Okay, we will leave it. Because we can also interact with these other parts here. So let's go ahead and try this guy over here. It's Calistag. I wonder why that is. As you approach the machine, Calistag rushes to examine it more closely. This device, your sire used it to maintain access to the datasphere. I must know how. Did he leave notes nearby? So I can use my anamnesis to try to remember where the notes might be. I could ask her how it works. I'm going to do the anamnesis. So we do have to expend effort. And I would like to succeed, and intellect is where it's at for us. So we already get 2 automatically. I'm going to expend the 1 and go for that 70%. We are successful. You feel an itching at the base of your skull. Suddenly, your right hand starts moving of its own volition, jabbing down to touch the nearby floor in a frenzied but purposeful series of movements. Next to your feet, a stone compartment slides open. It reveals a leather-bound journal within. Great. So we got a, I know my face covers it on the stream, but we will take a look. So it's a study in datasphere and analysis. So let's continue. Calistag approaches with reverence. May I? She asks, holding out her hands for the book. Of course, it's more useful to you than to me. It belonged to my sire. I'd like to look at it first. What is this? You put the book into your satchel. So, it belonged to my sire. I'd like to look at it first. I will let her look at it, but I want to see what's in it before I hand it over. So, dominant tides change. Legacy has shifted. So, blue tide raised a moderate amount. One moment. Excuse me for a quick moment. Spilled a little droplet, just a little bit of tea. It's okay. I don't put sugar in this tea so it doesn't get sticky. Okay. She says, so we didn't give her the book right away. So she says, I see. She considers you, folding her hands demurely in front of her. Is it because you don't trust me with the knowledge it contains? No, don't answer. I will find out what it contains eventually. She returns to looking at the Numenera without a backward glance. So I do plan on letting her look at it, but I want to look at it first. But don't think I will forget. Okay, well, I'm just looking at it first, Calistag. It's okay. Study in Datasphere, although it did go into our quest items. So, this leather-bound journal is filled with various diagrams, notes, and observations of the machines you found near the engines buried beneath Sagus Cliffs. The handwriting is your creator's, and it chronicles his analysis of the Datasphere, the net of information that surrounds and permeates the world's air. Some people have drawn power from the world, and others have found a way to transmit knowledge in the blink of an eye. It seems that these machines may have been intended to transmit consciousness itself, or at least take a rudimentary first step in that direction. The exact steps are unclear, though someone with an extensive background in consciousness transfer or machine intelligences might be able to recreate his work. So that actually does sound, I believe that, what are her skills? So she does have some machinery lore and mystical lore, as do we. She's better with the mystical lore. So I wonder what happens. So I got this book. What happens if we interact with it now? Data flickers and flashes around this machine too quickly for you to make any sense of it. Investigate the machine. You run your hands across the machine, try to lift it and interact with it in other ways, but nothing seems to work. It's a mystery to you. Okay. So let's go ahead. Interact with these mirrors. Okay. A staggering array of mirrors and lenses encircle you. Cables run from their backs to various machines scattered throughout the room. Your hands ache at the sight of this machinery, this workshop. Your predecessors spent many hours here, and your body remembers. Behind the display, you hear a hinge creak. Okay, so study the lenses and mirrors. The mirrors twitch as you gaze from surface to surface. Eventually, you realize why. They are attuned to your mind. You can move each one as effortlessly as your own hand. Every surface shows something else besides your reflection. A sliver of glass highlights a red cord around your throat. A small oval mirror lingers on a pulsing blue star beneath your forehead. The mirrors to either side of the large central mirror periodically flash purple. The tiny lenses above it all crane their necks to study you. One of them appears to be shivering. So our mystical lore. You sense that the tiny lenses are moving with purpose and hold still. They carefully swivel to focus on your arms, and you see something odd. The you in the audience of lenses is bigger, stronger. You feel a painful twinge in the crook of your arm, and one of the lenses goes cloudy gray. Okay. Reach for the shivering lens. Move the silvered mirror. Okay, so there's quite a bit that shows the red band around your neck. Watch for the purple glow on the side of the mirrors. Okay, examine the small oval mirror. Determine the purpose of the tiny lenses. Look into the large central mirror. Study the lenses and mirrors again. So, you sense that the tiny lenses are moving with purpose and hold still. They carefully swivel to focus on your arms, and you see something odd. You see you in the you in the audience of the lenses is bigger, stronger. You feel a painful twinge in the crook of your arm, and one of the lenses goes cloudy gray. So I feel like the you in the audience of the lenses is bigger and stronger. Feel a painful twinge in the crook of your arm, and one of the lenses goes cloudy gray. Okay. Every surface shows something else. I feel like this might be a kind of puzzle. So every surface shows something else besides your reflection. A sliver of glass highlights a red cord around your throat. A small oval mirror lingers on a pulsing blue star beneath your forehead. Small oval mirror lingers on a pulsing blue star beneath your forehead. The mirrors to either side of the large central mirror periodically flash purple. So I think that this is still, it might be coordinating with the colors of the tides. That wouldn't surprise me. The you in the audience's lenses, bigger, stronger, feel a painful twinge in the crook of your arm, and one of the lenses goes cloudy gray. So it could be the silver. I don't know if that's the case. So let's study the lenses and mirrors again, see what it says. The larger ones respond to the lightest touch of your mind. The smaller mirrors strain, creaking to study you. So, let's watch for the purple glow in the side mirrors. Examine the small level one. Determine the purpose of the tiny... Let's try to determine the purpose of the tiny lenses. You mentally draw the attention of the tiny lenses, feeling the pull of their eyeless gaze on your skin. In their reflection, you see an idealized version of yourself. Stronger, smarter, faster. And in a flash, you understand they can change you, improve you. But a few of them are growing cloudy under the strain. You should act quickly. Okay, so I'm going to go direct them at the head. I'm going to assume that's an intelligence one. The constellations of tiny lenses align with your head and you meet the gaze of your reflection. Something snaps in your mind and suddenly you feel sharper, more alert. One by one, the lenses fade into opaque haze until only one remains, as bright as a winter star. Last cast off permanently gained 1 intellect pool. Maximum intellect pool is now 12, and we gained 2 XP. All right, so watch for the purple glow on the side mirrors. As soon as you look at the mirror to your left, a torrent of radiant light flows through you, nearly tugging you off your feet. You regain your balance just in time to see the light pass into the mirror on your right. In that mirror, you see a machine aglow with the same purple light you spotted before. If you allow the light to carry you, chances are it will take you to wherever that machine is. Okay, let's not do that just yet. So you see a machine aglow with the same purple light you spotted before. If you allow the light to carry you, chances are it will take you to wherever that machine is. Okay, so if you allow the light to carry you. Okay, so that's the purple light. It sounds like it's a way to travel. So, allowed to carry you through the opposing mirror. Okay, examine the large central mirror. Of all of them, this mirror seems the most mundane. It shows your unaltered reflection, the crease between your eyebrows as you concentrate. And the gaunt, staring creatures in the hallway behind you. Oh. Force the mirrors to focus on the creature. Look behind you. You spin around, nothing is there. Force the mirrors to focus on the creatures. Natural lore. The mirrors strain at your bidding, and you see the things behind you clearly. They're bony, nude, snuffling at the air through a slit in their swollen faces. One of them wheels around, fixing you with a single hungry eye. It stumbles towards you, feet scraping across the stone. The rest stagger after it, slurping and gasping. They're abacoses, pan-dimensional entities that feed on power sources and ancient devices. They won't attack you so long as you give them something to eat. Stay back. Well, they'll attack us if we don't give them something to eat. I don't want to hurt you. Return to your realm. Stay back. I have no food for you here. Yeah, they may be the reason that these machines are in fact dying. They feed on the power sources and ancient devices. I don't want them to feed on these ancient devices, quite frankly, and I hope we're ready for a fight, because it sounds like we might be fighting them. One of them wheels around. Okay. Stay back. I have no food for you here. The entities do not respond to your warning. Snuffling and choking. They stagger at you, claws outstretched. Okay. A fight. It's been a while since we had a fight. Okay. It is Tybir to start. There is one right close. So maybe what we need, and I don't know, can we see anything about these guys? So they don't have, well, are they all going to be the same? Yeah, they all have 18 health. Armor 0, resistance 0, evasion, okay, so the stats don't appear that dangerous, but I don't know what kind of, they could be glass cannons. There is quite a few of them. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. So we may want to, if they do a lot of damage, that could be dangerous. So what we're gonna do is we are going to attack the one here. I'm just trying to see exactly how we're going to plan this out. So I'm a little concerned about Rin. What is her She actually, okay, only one is going to go. That's good. It will give us a chance to all go. So our initiative is better. He had the best initiative of 4. What is her? It was 0, eh? I guess they all got a 0. Oh, -1. It gets worse. What was mine? 0. Okay. All right, great. So I'm just going to try and take them out as fast as I can. So this will just be walking. We can feint and then sucker punch. This is, yes, so feint. And we could expend more effort. I don't want to. I want to save our resources.
Everything's possible when you keep your wits about you.
Oh, it missed. Well, that's unfortunate. Half phase, so they do have abilities. He missed us as well. Surprised that we missed, because they only have... Okay, so he has a positive fettle. They're probably all going to do this. So he's half phased, converts all damage to transdimensional and grants 20% evasion, +2 resistance, +2 armor, except transdimensional damage dealt to this character is 50%. So what we should do, since it is our turn, and these guys haven't gone yet, I suspect that all of them will buff themselves. So let's try to take them out quickly. It is too bad that Tybir was unable to hit him. So, what do we want to do? Remove all negative fettles. No, we don't need to do that yet. I don't need to hide. I think we just want to try. And now I'm worried because I want her to teleport. So let's go for this guy, I think. Oh, I need line of sight. This is not a good position to be in. So I'm going to cancel. I'm going to walk here. Oh, is there anything that I want to use, actually? The range of this is medium. What is the... Because if we could do... If they... Oh, man, it's too bad they're not more... Oh, but this is, all characters in range take 12 relativistic damage and knock down. Consumes active for 1 round. I wonder if it, like... If it has to hit... Because it's active for 1 round. So I wonder if it's, like, sitting there. Oh, it's so close to hitting all of them. Can I get it? No, I can't. That is too bad. Too bad indeed. Can't hit those. But what else can we do here? So this confers contingent subroutine. The next time this character is reduced to 50% in health or sap. Well, that's fine. I'm not going to do that right now. Hastened. I'm going to do hastened on myself. Because if they walk at all, they might group up. Might as well do hastened as fast as possible. So it is Calisteg's turn. Deals, let's see. So this is all in immediate area. We don't want to do that. We would want to do that, and it takes an action. This consumes movement, so we could potentially, and that's the area. So we could potentially use that AoE. This is 1 enemy. It's chemical damage. And then the entropic field on hit. So, enemies in a small cone. I really feel like these guys are going to group up a little bit. So let's try to make use of that. Is there any kind of buff? But I don't want to. I'm going to do this to him. I don't know if it's worth it to use. I don't know what kind of abilities these guys have. Let's check out his... So, converts all damage to transdimensional and grants 20% evasion, 2 resistance, 2 armor, except transdimensional damage. Build this character is plus 50%. Okay. Okay, so that's... Okay, so transdimensional damage does extra to them, which is great. Okay, so that's good. So, if I go like this,
Sisters lend their strength.
because I want to do this. I mean, that's going to be, okay, 10. And he's hobbled. It's good. And then Rin is going to attempt to hide. We will use all of her speed. And we are going to bring her right there.
You and me.
Okay. Ooh, ouch. It's a lot of pain. Okay, so he's gonna come up. Missed her. I'm a little concerned about.
Some elbow room, will you?
Yeah. Okay, so it's his turn. Did he have... All enemies in range who fail to resist gain compelled. Okay, so enemies in a small area. Okay, I don't want to... I actually want to move right about... Does it consume? What does it consume? Consumes an action. Okay. I actually want to do a taunt on them. And we are going to use all of his intellect pool. We absolutely want them to focus fire on him.
Everything's possible.
There we go. All right, great. It is my turn. I don't want to do that. Confers. Deals 5 chemical damage. Okay, I don't want to do that. Confers. So that's the healing one. All characters in range. I don't want to do that. And knocked it down. I actually want to, especially with my haste, I want to move. I'm going to move over by Rin so that she can heal me. What's the range on our attack here? Very large. That's good. So I'm going to move. This is going to do intellect healing. Okay, great. And we will target this guy here. We're going to do transdimensional. We do it on that guy. So, I definitely want to hit him. There we go. Calistag, because she can do deals to all characters in range. She could, and because these guys, it's going to convert it all to transdimensional. So let's go ahead and see what kind of damage we can do with that. So this consumes movement. This consumes action.
Probability shakes at my coming.
All right. Sorry, Tybir. Oh. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so it did do quite a bit of damage to them. I am going to heal.
Breathe again.
Just because you never know what's going to happen. Good to be safe. Healing potions don't do you any good in your inventory if you never use them. Okay, so it is her turn. She is hidden still, I believe. And she's going to stay exactly where she is. So 5 damage. They do a decent amount of damage. I mean, if you're taking 5 and 6 damage, it's going to drop you pretty quickly with this many enemies.
One at a time, please. There's plenty of time to go around.
So, all in immediate area. Sounds pretty good to me. Where is Callisteg? See if I can somehow miss her. No, I won't miss her. How much? She has a lot of HP.
Only making a stretch.
And then for him, I am going to move him. Like that. And then we will, how are they doing for life? Okay, Callisteg is fine. So they have 12 and 12. Does anybody have any negative fetals? I think I'm just going to go for damage anyway. So 65. We'll go for this guy here. And I will expend those. So that kind of damage I can do is, that looks like 5, but he takes extra transdimensional. Hang on. 5 damage of that type, and he is going to take, what is it, 50%? And he has, since he's dazed, he has minus 15% willpower as well. So, except transdimensional damage dealt to this character is plus 50%, so that's great. So 2.5, I don't know if it rounds at all. So it's going to be plus 50% if we choose transdimensional. If we do a total of 8, so that's 10, it should kill him, unless it's already factoring that in. Yeah, it did 10 damage, so it must be factoring in that 50%. Although he did have resistance, so maybe that took it away. I'm not sure. I'm not mathing it out. Okay, great. That's it. I'm standing right there. Callisteg might be able to kill them. How much damage does she do? So if I do, so that's 7. So that's 12. Yeah, so she can kill him. And then I'm just going to walk right in front of him, so he has to walk around. And then how much? He'll be fine. There's only the one guy left, so we will end the turn right there. Quite frankly, that should be it. So he is going to... He's just going to attack. I don't see any reason. Hopefully he doesn't miss.
No hard feelings.
There we go. I don't know if we used too many resources for that fight. It felt fairly easy, maybe because we used those resources. Quite frankly, we don't actually get into fights that frequently. So, I feel okay with that, but these are interesting creatures. They may have done damage to these machines already. So let's go ahead, do a quick save. Okay, let's get back to these mirrors. Interesting that these guys were here. I wonder what happens if we... So that was the large mirror. And it doesn't... So study the lenses and mirrors again. See what it says. The larger ones respond to the lightest touch of your mind. The smaller mirrors strain, creaking to study you. I was hoping to touch the big one again. But doesn't appear to be anything with it. Move the silvered mirror that shows the red band. We haven't done that. I think the small oval mirror, pulsing blue star beneath your forehead, expands as you watch. Oddly enough, it feels like it belongs there, like it was waiting to be discovered. So this one's the blue star beneath your forehead. Motion draws your attention to the other two mirrors. In them, you see a very different reflection of yourself. Pale blue clouds of blue light surround your hands. Pale clouds of blue light surround your hands. Feathery tendrils trail from every fingertip, flicking at the air. You raise your hand. Your reflection does as well, and suddenly, your head burns with the ache of the radiant object within it. So, motion draws your attention to the other two mirrors. In them, you see a very different reflection of yourself. Pale clouds, blue light surround your hands. Feathery tendrils trail from every fingertip, flicking at the air. You raise your hand, reflection does as well, and suddenly your head burns with the ache of the radiant object within it. Look at your hands, snatch a rock from the ground and break the mirror. No, pluck out the object. I want to look at my hands. The skin is glowing. Tiny needle-like tendrils emerge from the tips of each finger. Tiny tools for delicate work. Pluck out the object. We got a bronze sphere. You press your fingertips against your forehead and feel the needle-like tendrils close around the round object inside your head. Carefully, you pull it out. The rising agony melts away and the glow slowly fades from your hands, revealing a bronze sphere in your palm, growing more substantial with every passing second. Okay, so we will take a look at that in a moment. Let's look at the slivered mirror that shows the red band around your neck. Mentally, you jostle the mirror and feel an invisible noose close around your throat and tighten. Gasping, you sink to your knees, fall to your side, and as your vision goes dark, you realize that if you survive this death, you found a shortcut into the labyrinth. How convenient. That's true. Oh, we're in the labyrinth now. A new beginning. Codex entry unlocked. The Spectre. Okay, the Spectre. I can't say I expected you back so soon. In the past, when we came to this place, we had to basically enter a kind of meditative or unconscious state. We were able to do it if we went to Tranquility, the inn that's at Caravanserai, the outdoor inn, and the woman who runs it, Tranquility, I think is her name, she can put us into a trance, essentially, that allows us to visit this place. But if we come down to, I guess it's kind of our lair, then we will be able to visit it as we see fit, which may be the purpose of that mirror, to essentially cause us to go unconscious. So, High Weather Fathoms open. Okay, so has anything changed since the last time I was here? He shrugs. Look around. It's your mind. Okay. I think I'm ready to go. Farewell. Because there's nothing new there that he says. I'm wondering if... So this is where we came from when we came out of the clock, I believe. This was the very start of the game where we came from. And this is where we leave. Okay, so we'll be able to visit the labyrinth. That, you know, it'll be... Silvertide represents admiration of power and seekers of fame. Okay, so... that's the Silvertide. It's not justice like I was thinking.
Enough rest, dear. Rise.
Okay, so the noose takes us here. Use the thin mirror to kill yourself again. Oh, that's pretty serious. Look at the purple glow in the side mirror again and allow it to carry you through. I do want to do that. So, use the thin mirror. Reach for the shivering lens. You raise your hand, the tiny lens bends toward it, then flinches away with a soft wong, but not before you catch a glimpse of something small and shapeless moving inside. Shy little thing, whatever it was. You turn your attention back to the mirror. Are you afraid of me? Get down here now or say nothing. Force the lens to bend to your will. Look at the rest of the mirrors. I'm going to ask, are you afraid of me? The lens goes quite still, then tips towards you ever so slightly, like a child peering over a cliff. Thoughts spill through that tilting glass into your mind. Your gift is immediately overwhelmed. These are not words or symbols or any language you recognize. They are aware. Aware that they are thoughts and in your head. At the moment of realization, they awaken within your mind, reorganizing your thoughts into images that communicate what the creature in the glass is thinking. We can scan thoughts, apparently. And it says, a circle carved in the dust, speaking its shape without words. Circle carved in the dust. This is a circle, maybe. Speaking its shape without words. And inside the glass, tendrils of thick liquid stream from the corners of the lens, coiled thread by thread into a perfect vibrating sphere. In seeing it, it sees you and smashes itself against the glass, turning it utterly black. What an odd little device, she murmurs. I've never seen its like. Crack. A jagged white line appears in the upper corner of the lens, racing along the surface like a breaking wave. You blink. When you open your eyes an instant later, the lens is gone. All that remains is an empty frame. Okay, so there was thick liquid, there was a vibrating sphere, you see it, it sees us, it smashes itself against the glass, turns it black. Calistic said it was odd. Then a white line appears in the upper corner of the lens, racing along the surface like a breaking wave. We blink, and then when we open them, the lens is gone. Oh, she says, sighing. It's gone. And yet, something has changed in your mind. You hear whispers too distant to understand. You feel a presence swelling within you, reveling in the alignment of your tides. You hear a voice speak a single word, a word that echoes across the labyrinth, calling you to it. Om, it says. Okay, so we received a quest. There's been a few updates as well. What are the... Okay, that's the rested Fettle. You step back to the semicircle of mirrors, sensing the pressure of invisible eyes on you. I do want to carry away, but we will leave the lenses alone for now.
Let's go.
Let's quick save. Did anything physically change here? I don't see any changes. Just these guys here. I hope they don't stay here forever. Not good for the floor.
Yes, child.
Let's see if by getting that book we learned anything. So, wires and cables extend from this device into the rock wall. Try to use the interface again. No matter what you try, the interface remains unresponsive. Okay, so we're going to leave it. I wonder if it will be something that...
Let's go.
I wonder if it is something that eventually we will be able to use. I don't think there's anything else we can do with this guy. Data flickers around. Investigate the machine again. Learn nothing new. So in looking around here, I don't know where, this hallway it mentioned was. I don't really see any hallways. Okay, so that leaves us with the stuff in our inventory. Oh, so it's a quest item, this bronze sphere. So this is, it was in our head, I believe. This is a fist-sized bronze sphere that you removed from a trans-dimensional space inside your head. Its surface is covered in interlocking spirals. Before we use it, this is the book that we got. We have, so the leather-bound journal is filled with various diagrams. We looked at this. It's about the machines buried here in Sagus Cliffs. The net of information surrounds and permeates the world's air. Some people draw power from it. We need, so extensive background in consciousness transfer or machine intelligences. So there's some people at the Order of Truth that can help us. I will talk to Calisteg as well. Maybe we'll start, I've been talking about doing conversations with them. So I think the first person, because she was kind of upset that we weren't going to let her look at it first, which is fine. She can be upset. She said she wouldn't forget it. It's like, no, I just want to look at it first. So we will talk to her. I do want to use this. Let's go ahead, see what happens. The metallic edges, this is the bronze sphere. The metallic edges of this engraved globe press into your palm. Interlocking spirals spin over its surface, pulling at your thoughts, at places in your mind. Before your eyes, segments of the spirals rise from the sphere with whispering clicks, forming detailed sigils. Buttons. Okay, so hold the orb up to the light. Light is faintly visible through the curves of the orb's inner spirals, but only just. You see flickers of movement within, mechanisms perhaps. Okay, let's hold it up to the light again. Light sparkles off the razor innards of the sphere. The movement you spotted before is nowhere to be seen. Okay, press the cage sigil. You press the cage sigil with your thumb and hear Alagurn's voice in your head as though from a great distance. Doesn't make sense, he mutters, accompanied by the clinking of tools. It's like this thing wants to be broken. Interesting. The sphere connects you to people you have met in the real world, and more than that, you sense at some instinctual level that it can transport them to you if you call them while pressing the button, and they're willing to come. Okay. Put the orb away. So, I think it's, the narrator in this case is reliable, so it sounds like we can teleport people to us at will, if they are willing to come. Which is indeed a powerful ability. Alright, so that is the Bronze Sphere. It is a quest item. We will leave it. We have the books. The last thing to do is to be taken away by the mirror. So, look at the purple glow in the side mirror again and allow it to carry you through the opposing mirror. See where we end up. I don't know if we'll actually transition in the game sense, but we'll see. A flood of purple light streams from the mirror as soon as you look at it. It lifts you from your feet and carries you into the mirror on the other side. Okay. Tidal surge conversion options allow you to channel psychic forces to influence the world around you, sometimes at a cost. These are only unlocked after you find someone to train you in the tidal affinity skill. We have not done that yet. Okay. Oh, well, here we are. Way up here. Just like that. So, I wonder, can I interact with this and go back? Machine is solid now, the clock. The 3 clock faces are fixed on a single point each. The clock's purpose is still a mystery, but at least you can interact with it. Examine the machine again. No. Step away from the clock. Okay, I want to go back.
Right off?
I think she was talking to her rock. So I want to head back down there. I have a sense of... I wonder...
Or is it the other way?
I wonder if our automaton... Gosh, automaton. I called him automaton so much. It's such an odd thing when your brain knows it's automaton. When you read it, it wants to say something else. The automaton. We'll see if it can take us a tunnel somewhere. Take me back to the Changing Gods Sanctuary. I hope it can just take us directly there. It doesn't look like it. I see the loading screen for the Stitcha. Okay. Oh, right. I can't use the map to go. So, I want to come here and just, so that was one of the machines, clearly.
Safe.
Well, I guess so. It's our sanctuary. It does seem like there's going to be reasons to come here. So, and there's an ability to teleport around. There's an ability to visit our labyrinth at will without having to go to Tranquility. So it seems like this might become a sort of base of operations for us. And I like that. I really like having my own place in a game like this. It's a very appealing thing to my playstyle, and hopefully we can do a lot of cool stuff with it. We'll see. I don't know how much they got into the kind of like stronghold building mechanics in this game. I haven't heard much about those, but if they did, I will appreciate it. I really like those mechanics in games. So I don't want to do any of these things right now. So what we're going to do, so we can go to Circus Minor. There's nothing left to interact with. We're going to learn probably more about this machine here. I assume we'll be able to interact with it eventually. So let's go ahead and talk to Callisteg. She raises an eyebrow and waits. Okay, so we looked at the notes from the Changing Gods notes on the data sphere. What can you tell me about the cult of the Changing God? I think that we will just go straight to that and allow her to see them. So we're going to, and I mean, she's very knowledgeable in these things, and she has a deep desire for it as well. So I will go ahead and satisfy that desire, as well as hope that she can perhaps give us some insight. So she turns it over in her hands, examining every inch of the binding. Your sire always has such marvelous craftsmanship, she murmurs, slowly releasing the drawstring that binds it closed. As she flips through the pages, slowly at first, then faster, you catch a sight of diagrams, notations, and drawings, all of them your sire's machines beneath the city of Sagus. So she takes it. Thank you, Callisteg breathes without looking up and moves away to continue her study of the book's contents. Yes, interesting. She catches you looking at her. His observations on the datasphere are fascinating. Nothing I can share yet. It's purely conjecture. So this could be what I've been looking for. So Callisteg's opinion of you has improved. So the Changing God hid these for a reason. So yeah, we know. It looked like it was transferring consciousness. It talked a little bit about that. And that's definitely up her alley, it seems like. With her sisters, you know, she has multiple kind of versions of herself. So even so, please be careful. Accessing the full unrestrained datasphere might be dangerous for you. The information must be powerful, else he wouldn't have hidden it. So he hid them for a reason. It could be dangerous. I don't know that he would be concerned about the safety of others. When I think about the Changing God, I actually know very little about his motivations. We've heard different. We have a different sense of who. I keep saying he because our character is male, but really the Changing God, it's the Changing God. So, the Changing God, we've learned different aspects about who the Changing God is. And so, for instance, with the 3 cast-offs that were trapped in the clock in Circus Minor, we learned a little bit about how the Changing God, they figured for them, they saw him as selfish and very self-centered and always doing what was best for himself. But they were obviously willing to work with him to some extent, but then they plotted against him. So there was that negative aspect. We know that we know that the Changing God has been in love with people in the past and had relationships with people in the past. So there's that kind of aspect of the Changing God's personality, whether they were genuine or just useful to the Changing God. It doesn't seem like the Changing God, and the Changing God obviously fears the sorrow and has been very dedicated to building the residence chamber, apparently to protect themselves from the sorrow. And then also the Changing God apparently saved the city of Sagus Cliffs, and we see some bits of those history of interacting with different people, and we don't always know what the motivations for the Changing God were. It certainly doesn't seem like the Changing God is an outright evil being. It seems more like a self-interested being. I don't know if they are ultimately benign or malevolent. We don't know enough about it, but it isn't really clearly one or the other. It could just be that the Changing God is just selfish. But we're learning bits and pieces about who the Changing God is, which isn't the same as who we are. We are our own personality and have been totally able to choose who we are throughout this. So we aren't bound by whatever the Changing God's personality was, but we are learning about it as we go around. So the purpose of kind of diving into the persona of the changing god is that it's difficult for us to decipher what the reason for the changing god hiding these notes is. Did the changing god care about safety? Well, we've seen him care about the safety of the city, seen the changing god care about the safety of Sagus Cliffs in the past, but we don't know the changing god's motivation in that case. So the changing god hid those for a reason. It could be power. It could be safety. We don't know. Even so, please be careful. Accessing the full unrestrained data sphere might be dangerous for you. That is true. We don't know what the motivation for the changing god is, and we don't want, and of course it's powerful information. It's kind of obvious to say that, so I will tell her to be careful. She follows a quick glance at you with a scoff. Dangerous? Surely not. Perception skill coming in. As she turns away from you, she starts riffing through the pages, as if verifying her statement. Two of her echoes whisper to her, worried looks on their faces. So, we noticed a detail in terms of she is resisting what we are saying. We are warning her that this may be dangerous, but she's very excited about it. And of course, naturally, she doesn't want to hear that because she wants to just move forward with reckless abandon. And so she's going to try to find out ways to justify that it is in fact perfectly safe. But of course, we know that there will be danger with this data sphere, given that it is a very powerful, if what's in the notes is correct with transferring consciousness, that is a very powerful ability and could lead to some very a wide range of consequences, both positive and negative. So she's trying to verify her statement. Two of her echoes whispered her worried looks. So she might be trying to get rid of her echoes as well. I don't quite remember. She seems kind of resentful of them, but also happy that they're there. I'm trying to remember back to the beginning of the game if it was a thing by accident or something like that. She dismisses them with a wave of her hand, but sinks deep into contemplation. So, maybe they're worried that they might be affected negatively, whether she desires to affect them negatively or not. So, but at least she's going to think about it. She sinks deep into contemplation. Nice to have that perception come up in this case. She raises an eyebrow and waits. I don't think we'll ask her about anything else right now. Oh, well, maybe I want to ask you about one of the people we're traveling with. I'm going to ask her about Rin, who is, ostensibly standing right here. But I like to think that sometimes when these conversations happen, like we're in the space and presumably our characters are inhabiting the space. It's a safe place. And so they're just, I kind of go into an RPG theater of the mind space where it's like I have her aside and Rin and Tybir aren't standing directly beside us as we have these conversations. What do you think about Rin? A sweet child, strong-willed, given to wisdom and introspection. She reminds me of myself at her age. Still, we should examine her more closely. Some of the things she says and does border on delusion. So we had talked a little bit about that before, that, is what she experiencing delusion, or is it a genuine experience that maps with some sort of reality? So she is listening. Here we are. My theater of the mind out the window. Rin says, I'm not sure if I'm the one with delusions here. That's right, dear. Question those beliefs. Okay, well, it's true. She should question her beliefs. Tell me what you think. That's fine. I have no questions. Let's get back to the task at hand. So my main goal there was to allow her the book for the time being. I don't know if it was the right decision to give her that book. I love how it just disappeared. So when she has it, we just don't have it anymore. That's unfortunate. I don't know if it's the right decision to give it to her, but regardless, it's what we did and we will have to live with the consequences of that decision. Well, I think we will end it there tonight. We have pretty thoroughly explored
you and me.
What appears to be our new kind of stronghold beneath Sagus Cliffs. We will go and we will speak with Mapper and let him know all about what we have found when we are in the next episode. So we will leave it there tonight. Please remember, if you want to continue to see this content, feel free to subscribe, and good night, everyone. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.